Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Sunday meditation. And today I want to talk about emotions because if you are anything like me in times of uncertainty, you may have been feeling different kinds of emotions and be on a bit of a roller coaster. I certainly have been some days feeling quite calm, other days feeling quite agitated, some days feeling motivated, some days feeling really sad, um, some days feeling irritated, some days feeling hopeful, and it can be confusing. And there is a way to ride the roller coaster of emotions and in a healthy way. And there is a way to do it in a very unhealthy way. So today's meditation is about that. And just before we get started, I want to give you my view on what's the healthy way and what's the unhealthy way of riding the roller coaster. So I think that there's two extremes that we want to avoid. Some of us tend to be on one end of the scale and some of us on the opposite end of the scale. But the middle path really is what we want. So on one hand, some of us just avoid emotions, want to run away from them, see them as a bit of a nuisance. But unfortunately, if you do that, if you try to avoid your emotions, because it is impossible to actually do that, these emotions will start to rule you in a subconscious way. And you may actually feel quite out of control. So, for example, if you don't ever want to be angry, and that's impossible, you're going to be angry anyway, well, that anger is going to come out suddenly, perhaps shouting at somebody in the street or your partner in a way that you didn't expect. Or you may be attracting people that are particularly angry at you just so that you can express that emotion through them. Of course, all of this is done in a very subconscious, unaware way. On the other hand, you may be in the opposite side of the spectrum. You may be one of those people that just holds on to emotions, wallows into these emotions, and although it is good to feel emotions, if we wallow into sadness, for example, well, we may be heading towards depression. So that's not such a good idea either. So the healthy way, according to the Buddhists and according also to common sense, really, if you think about it, is to be in the middle. So it's to be aware of your emotions, first of all, and then to have an attitude of curiosity, acceptance, observing your emotions, letting yourself feel your emotions, but then also let them pass by actually focusing on something else, focusing on what you want. So this meditation is all about that, and it's borrowed by a mindfulness practice, and it's called the Lake Meditation for Acceptance. So let us get started straight away. So first of all, let us start by sitting or lying down. In fact, this meditation traditionally is done lying down, but it's all completely up to you. And when you found your position, let's begin by simply looking at the spot in front of you. I always do this because it can be good to just focus your attention on an external point. So looking at the point in front of you, just focus your attention on it and take one deep breath in through your nose first. Holding that breath and then let's let it go. Just letting go of any tension in the body. Let's do this a couple more times. Breathing in through the nose, holding, even tensing, and then let it all go. Let all of your limbs get relaxed. And one last time, breathing in. Holding, tensing, and let it all go now. Now on the next breath out, let's take a breath in first. On the next breath out, just close those eyes. And now let's breathe through the nose, and every time we breathe in, let's just focus your attention on the word calm. Just the word calm, breathing it in Imagine it, if you like, in your mind's eye. Perhaps it's a word. It has a color and a shape. And as you release the air out, imagine you're releasing any tension in the body and in the mind. Keep breathing in like this for maybe a couple more breaths, using this time just your nose. And then breathing out again. And letting go a little bit more each time you breathe out. And again, the word calm. And let's do this for 3 more deep breaths in your own time. Perhaps every time you breathe in, imagine that calm entering your body through your nostrils. That energy of calm spreading everywhere as you breathe out, descending into every limb, into every muscle, into every cell of that body. And let that out breath be long. Really try and empty your lungs completely. What would it be like to flush out that tension out of your fingertips, out of your toes into the ground, letting it all go, and arriving in this moment now. Just being present with your sensations. Noticing what they are without, if possible, any judgment. Simply letting them be. And just feel your breathing for a few more moments. Keep going. If any thoughts come into your mind, that's okay. Just acknowledge them and bring your attention back to your breath. Meditation is not about not having thoughts. It's just about becoming aware of what you're experiencing, accepting it, and then bringing your attention back where you decide you want it to be. In this case, the breath. And then when you're ready, imagine, if you will, a beautiful lake. Really see this in your mind's eye. See the colors, the shape, the time of day. The kind of environment you're in. Perhaps it's a lake you've been before, or maybe it's an imaginary one that you'd love to be at right now. Really feeling the details of this lake. And notice that the lake is perfectly still and perfectly calm. The surface of the lake is so still it looks like a polished mirror. The surface sparkles with the silver water. And perhaps there's mountains, majestic mountains surrounding this lake in the background. Notice whether they are filled with snow or maybe it's spring. And the sky is perfectly blue with a few small fluffy white clouds in the distance. And the sky and the mountains are both reflected in the surface of the lake. And around the sides of the lake, of this wonderful, beautiful lake, are all the mighty trees with branches leaning over the lake. And perhaps a few birds fly across in the distance. And when the wind blows, small ripples and larger waves whip up on the surface, reflecting a dance of glints across the water. And as you watch it, the movement, you become aware that as the seasons change, the lake embraces the rain and the fallen leaves. And in the winter, it may even freeze on the surface. And yet, deep under the surface, little changes or moves. And the water continues to teem with life. The lake accepts whatever is offered to it. Now when you're ready, allow yourself to merge and become one with the lake. As you lie or sit, allow yourself to be the lake itself. In any way that makes sense to you. Realizing you are both the deep, still lake underneath and the ripples on the surface. And just allow yourself to absorb the slightest sense of what this may mean for you. in your compassion, your kindness, your gentleness. Sees yourself supporting this body of water in its wholeness. And as the weather changes, the water becomes muddied and it gathers twigs and leaves. Can you softly allow all of this to happen and continue to just be the lake? Just appreciating how the change in conditions and the changing conditions of the lake give it character, charm, and richness. Allowing yourself to feel your own tranquility and serenity underneath the turbulent surface. Can you allow that to happen to some extent? Can you allow that continual change, that persistent unfolding change in and around the lake to be simply part of the natural process of nature? And even embrace the beauty of it in yourself. Allowing yourself to perceive life from a place of acceptance, perceive your emotions from a place of curiosity and peacefulness. Remembering how the lake can be both still, deep, unmoving underneath, and disturbed on the surface. And in the same way, you and your fluxing thoughts and feelings of the mind and the heart are constantly changing, and at the same time, can you identify with the awareness that is always there and just behind those thoughts and feelings? Almost as if you are watching them from a slight distance. Your story, your world, your ideas, your thoughts and dreams and opinions and beliefs, they're all part of that vast awareness. But they're not all of it. Almost like characters on a stage, and then the director of the play. Or like clouds in the sky and the sky itself. Can you enjoy the vision of the lake as it effortlessly reflects the sun, the sky, the birds and the bees, and the plants and the animals during the day? And then the beautiful pale moon and the twinkling stars at night, and that dark, cool sky, ever present, always changing, and yet always the same. And see if you can bring this image of the lake to mind as you go about your daily activities, so that you can remember to perceive life from this place of acceptance and deeper understanding. Acceptance of your emotions, your thoughts, and a deeper awareness that goes beyond your mind, beyond those thoughts and ideas and feelings. A deeper peacefulness. And so when you're ready, begin to take yourself back to the here and now in the room where you're practicing today. Just slowly becoming aware perhaps of your fingertips, your toes, moving them slightly. Taking a deep breath and on the breath out. When you're ready, gently fluttering your eyes open and bringing yourself back into the room. So I hope you enjoyed today's meditation, and that you found this image of the lake useful to bring to mind in your everyday life, to use as a reminder to stay present with your emotions and accept them from what they are, and then just watch them change. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and see you next week, 10 a.m. every Sunday.